Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into the show that's on in the afternoon. We've got a great show.
Legendary chef. Yes,
man.
So excited.
Legitimately. We got Michael Lugo in studio here with us today. We're going to talk to him about everything that's going on. He's got so much going on, I can't even keep up, man.
That's why we need to bring him into the studio so we can get to the bottom of it. What's 2025 going to look like?
We need the deets.
Yeah, totally. Yes.
So we will, excited to welcome Michael Lugo back in studio here with us. We'll talk to him in just a couple of minutes. We'll get you caught up on your events, your funnies, your horoscopes. And we come back on your day for horoscopes.
Oh, I did this to myself. Yeah. Dang
it. So we will get to all of that very, very shortly after we tell you about our friends at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Since 1949, they've been more than just a dealership. They're, in fact, a family-owned beacon of trust right here in St. Augustine. Founded on honesty, integrity, and community service, that Bozard family tradition continues to thrive through generations. They've got an amazing facility out there, 91 climate-controlled service bays, a quick lane for no appointment needed maintenance. You can pop in, pop out. You're good to go. And they are the proud recipients of the prestigious Triple Crown Award and named Florida's Dealer of the Year by Dealer Rater. They offer the best in pricing, selection, and service. They're just off I-95 and State Road 16, where your satisfaction is their mission, and they are driven to inspire. And our friends at the Bailey Group, getting enrolled in a health insurance or Medicare plan does not have to be complicated. In fact, it should be quite the opposite. And at the Bailey Group, it is. You're going to work with a local insurance advisor to find just the right insurance coverage for your specific needs and your budget. Their goal is making getting covered simple with no added costs, no extra fees. The Bailey Group handles individual health and Medicare, corporate benefits, and financial needs for their clients. Give them a call. Let them do that for you. Give you some more peace of mind. 904-461-1800. All right, man. Chef Michael Lugo, welcome to the studio, sir. How you been?
Good afternoon. How are you guys?
Good to see you, man. Doing good. Doing good. Excited to have you here with us.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So, how many restaurants you got right now?
Right.
What do you have on your plate right now, so to speak?
I don't know. Depending on the day you ask me, probably not too many, not enough, too many. But currently we have 3 restaurants. We have Michael's, our namesake, made a big move from our downtown location to Delano. Pesca's on the rooftop at the Hyatt. And we recently, in last year, we opened La Nouvelle, our French concept. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about La Nouvelle.
La Nouvelle was one of those, God sent things that just kind of I couldn't pass up. The opportunity came while I was trying to open Pesca. It was a building that I passed on 10 years ago when the Corneals were developing it, and they offered me an opportunity. And I had the taste room to go, if you remember, behind over there on Cordova Street, and they offered that opportunity. But it was them and M. Mark back there, and there wasn't a revitalization of Lincolnville. My vision wasn't as good as their vision.
Oh, gotcha.
It didn't look like that was a place I wanted to be. But immediately when Preserved opened and they established that place, I was like, man, it was an opportunity to miss. So when the opportunity came to me, I said yes before I even had a concept or had a decision, and we went into the design really quickly. And last February, actually right about now, we opened the place, and it's been a great opportunity for me to do a concept that doesn't involve my culinary history. It was a passion project with French cooking. It was an ode to French cooking and a void that I saw in the market. I had an opportunity to design it, and just happened to have in one of our management team, I happened to have a tool in the bag. I guess a great friend and chef, Mathieu Landillon, was born in Marseille and trained at the Cordon Bleu in Paris. So I was able to design a concept, write a menu, and then, as they say, let him paint in the color with his connection to his homeland. So
did you see that with your chef hat or your entrepreneur hat? Like, did you know
a little bit of both? Okay. A little bit of both. I think they it's a two-sided hat. I think it always works. For the good or the bad. I mean, sometimes the chef hat is probably not the best entrepreneur hat, but you got to have a little bit of both. There's got to be a little bit of both. But the dream of that kind of restaurant is always that it's an opportunity to cook food that comes from centuries of history, but then reinvent it with modern touches and also give it, our local feel as well. So
what's the aesthetic of French food like then?
Romance. That's the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah.
So that's the easy, it's the best way to describe that. And who doesn't love, it led the design of the restaurant. The whole way I look at it is it's a romantic ode to France. It's like, everybody can come have a nice, we don't take tables over 6. It's meant to be a small group setting. It's not meant to be, taken over with large parties. It's meant to be like you, your spouse, 4 friends, come enjoy
That's great.
A romantic evening and just escape. It's the essence of Lincolnville really shines because of the quiet streets. It's not the same as when we were downtown where just have the hustle and bustle. We still have plenty of tourism, but it's got parking. It's a beautiful wraparound porch, a wonderful garden outside, an intimate dining room setting. So, all those things kind of check the boxes of romance and
brunch, right? Yeah. That's like the brunch scene right now.
Yeah. So, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, we Sunday was so successful that we just opened to do brunch 3 days a week.
It's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah.
People love a good brunch spot. I grew up in the Gypsy Cab system. I grew up around Ned and watched him open a couple of restaurants and things like that. How long does it take you and your team to create a menu? I mean, like you said, you basically had to create this from scratch. What's that process look like?
I think the process in my brain works a little quicker because of the history, 20, 25 years of doing this and always changing menus. I've always taken the approach, even when we were the tasting room, I used to joke that we were not the remember room, so don't get too attached to menu. We were always the new taste, new ideas.
Yeah, okay.
So we used to do, monthly menus, weekly menus, things like that. To me, that becomes harder the longer we're in business. So that's why new concepts help, because we have to have some dishes that brings back retention and some great.
Some consistency.
But we have a good part of innovation into our concept. So we're always pushing a little bit. But the collaborative efforts, my freedom, because of having a great management team, is that I get to be in my artistic phase more often than I have to be in the physical plant of doing, the day to day. So because I have chefs and managers that do task driven representation, I get to, spend more time in that artistic realm. So I can spend, hours and just design menus and then go back and do the business side of it, analyze them. And by the time I present them to the team, I've already spent, a couple weeks, a month, on them.
Does the team ever come to you with like, hey, do you like this dish? Do you want it?
They do.
You're like a little bit more salt.
They do. It's probably, it's probably a thing I have to work on more, probably maybe even more open to some of their ideas. But I always feel like, I paint a good picture. I like to say that I draw the sketch and then I let them paint on a daily basis so they can put their color into it.
That's
so
awesome.
we're never rigid into what the final look at, even after we launch a menu. It generally, the day we open with any of the concepts or any of the menus, if we do a seasonal menu, we launch the rough draft, which is what I designed. And in like the 2 to 3 weeks, we figure out what the team's going to do.
Yeah.
And then together, that's the collaboration fact of it, so to finish it out.
Yeah.
And you talked about your management team. You talk about your team a lot.
Yeah.
You credit your team for a lot of your success. I know you've had people that have worked for your team for many, many years, and that's a testament to a good work environment. But how important is it to you to have that good team structure that if you can lean back on that team if you need to?
It's the only way I look at it. I think it goes back to me playing sports and being, I grew up in sports. I had aspirations of being a college football player, things like that.
Yeah.
But you always take that team mentality, and you don't see any successful business that's not a team driven. I look at other examples. So, the first 5 to 6 years of opening a business, you're that I'm doing it all mentality, and you realize how you spin your wheels, because as much as you do, there's always something that needs to be done, and you don't have that. So it took me real quick to learn to trust, and now I trust with fault. I'll trust first and then correct later. But we have to put people in it, and I've been so pleasantly surprised because some of the people that you inspire, you put them in the right situation. You do good hiring, but you have to encourage them to do more. Some are great at it, some aren't, and then you move on and you find others that want to do it. The loyal ones, those I couldn't do this without some of them, because they are they do it without me thinking, like some of the ones that've got it and they're all in. Those are the ones, we do everything we can. That's part of the restaurant growth. That's why we've opened more restaurants, because you have to have opportunities for them to grow. If you don't, you lose them. And I lost great talent when I was opening up, because, they work for you for 2 or 3 years, and then you have nowhere else to offer them. You're a small restaurant, you do so many hats. So
right, true.
You know, so
they've got dreams too,
and they have dreams too.
Yeah.
So at some point, you know, you have to give opportunities for them too, and that's been part of my growth curve, is figuring out how to make sure that I have enough opportunities for some of the great talent to be my talent forever, not me do the hard work of training them, and then all of a sudden somebody else gets the rewards.
Yeah.
The name Chef Lugo comes with high standards.
Yeah.
And I look at these 3 different entities as like unique, you know, identities or cultures even.
Yeah.
How do you manage those 3 to make sure that they all come in a cohesive brand like what you represent?
By not running them as 3 cultures.
Yeah.
It's one brand. I mean, we're 3 expressions. We're running one business, you know.
Got it.
We do it all the same. We talk the same. We work together. We collaborate on everything. The chef from La Nouvelle comes over to Pesca and does things. The chef from Michael's goes over to La Nouvelle. The you know, servers work within each other. The SOM team runs the wine program together. We run it as one big business. We're one family that has brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we watched The Bear, like, you know what I mean, on Hulu. Like, honestly, you know, so like, is that real? Is that real life what we see on those shows?
You know, it's
passion. I keep saying that.
Yeah, it's there's a lot. If you have the eye, you see the truth. If you don't, you can see where the drama is, you know, in The Bear. But there's a lot of truth, and you know, you love those as an industry. See the grade in it. Some of the stuff that's made for TV, you could see what, you know, the stuff that, you know, that's dramatic quality. But it's all about that commitment to passion. One of the things that was lost, and I don't know if it was lost for a good way during the pandemic days, is that commitment to a project, a commitment to a role, whether you're, you know, entry level or whatever. None of it comes overnight. You know, I sit here today, 19 years, you know, removed from the day that I walked by the building across from the White Line. It was a Christmas store that ended, signed the lease without $1 in my name, without, you know, went and told my wife, hey, I signed this deal. You know, people don't realize the risk, the effort, the gambles, and the
you're risking everything.
Energy.
You're really
no
risking
challenge,
everything.
no change. I mean,
but you have to do it because you saw something, you felt something. You know, people ask me, you know, hey, you took your business away and you just moved it. I said, you know, because I lived 19 years I saw 7 floods in that building. I saw mechanical issues. I saw cities closing my street down because they wanted to do a project. I see, you know, 450s in concert, Mumford and Son. I see all the things. And I also saw my books full of tourists and not the locals that I built it for. I'm super involved in the community. I thought I'm building a community restaurant, and the community can't come to my restaurant because of the circumstances of downtown. So I have to make calculated risk. And, you know, back in June, we started this conversation internally. We went public, you know, later in the year because we didn't want to, you know, mess anything up, but we planned it, we thought it. And now we're in a spot that since we opened last Tuesday, it's been full with locals who are happy that they can park and drive, and it makes you think, oh wow, like, thank you, it worked out, you know, because it was guests that, you know, that I felt it in my gut that they wanted to come to my business. When I opened La Nouvelle, who had parking, all of a sudden these locals came back to that business, so I knew they wanted to support us. And as a business owner, having a full restaurant is important, but the people who I have in that restaurant are more important to me. That's why I do it for. I don't do this, you know, that's why I don't open a hamburger store on the corner of St. George Street. That's why I open the restaurants that I commit to with excellence and service driven, hospitality driven, because I want to have our community to have great things and to grow.
It still had to have been tumultuous though for you. I mean, it couldn't have just been like, yeah, it's the right thing to do. Let's do it.
No,
I mean, Kuna Street is an absolute hub,
and you had an attachment to that building. It seemed like you were really emotionally attached to that building.
You know, I try to buy it. I try to buy it to the last day when I turn the keys in. I mean, I think that opportunity. I just think infrastructure for a restaurant, it outgrew what it was. It was a Christmas store. It was the Whitney's fundraising hall for the 400th. They raised funds there to redo the 400th downtown. Yeah, it had purposes, and you know. What I've converted it to. It's funny when we remember 2025 version of where that hub is. When I opened that place in 2006, there was nothing just that was west or north of the square. If you recall, the hub, the action was on the square.
Like secret parking spot over there.
All that was down there was the oldest house. There was nothing over there. White Line used to sit there because at that time the town used to close at midnight. Remember, everyone left to the beach. So there was no inspiration. There was no bars. There was no restaurants. When I opened that restaurant, people said, "You are the foolish for opening in that street. Nobody comes this way." Yeah. And miraculously, you know, I kind of knew something was going to happen. You got to go where nobody's at and make them come to you, and then the rest comes.
Is that the lesson of growth here? Is that where it comes from?
You have to, you have to always find it's like the house. You buy the house finished, it costs you twice as much. If you buy the house that, you see vision is and you can do the work yourself, then you have value in it. You have to see the foresight. You have to see the vision first and then build it.
Yeah.
But,
sweat equity.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had an empty, open pocketbook. I would have bought one of those Bayfront restaurants and put, millions of dollars. I don't have that. I had to do it on my own. So I had to figure out where the opportunity was to grow.
Low key, any idea on what's going to happen to it now?
I don't. I feel for the family. They have some issues that they have to deal with. The Mr. Vagul is not doing too well, and I appreciate everything they did for me for the time that I was there for. I wish there was an opportunity, and I think they wish too, but I think it just got to the point that it didn't work out the way they wanted it, and then for me as well. The market changed drastically, but hopefully something. We
think a restaurant, or do you think more retail?
I don't know. I mean, it's downtown St. Augustine. If I was the owner of that property, even though they know better, that that needs a lot of work.
Yeah, but you did a lot of work.
Yeah, but it needs a lot more. Okay. But I think that they'll probably take the gamble. I'm sure somebody will do it. Somebody will take it. And maybe they'll come in with resources and they'll do it. But it's the flooding is the scariest part there. We almost like the dam broke on Matthew. Remember, we never had issues like that. Right? Yeah. And it's never stopped, I know. So that's where, maybe we were just dumb to it or before that, but I don't recall ever. I never boarded up once.
They put a lot of new things in place that seem to make the problem worse. Since Matthew.
I've never had an issue before that. And
how many times did you get? How many floods can you remember?
I mean, 7 for sure.
Yeah.
So that's
tough. That's tough to run a business and be that dependent on Mother Nature. Yeah. To be able to keep your doors open 5 days a week. I
mean, downtown's underground electric, underground plumbing. So even if it's just a light flood where just parking lot gets watered, sometimes, the transformers blow, the things like that. You have to get food safety. We have to have generators. I mean, the fact we have a storage unit full of generators and plugs and boards. And it was a whole thing.
Oh, you can lease them out now.
I had a food truck because of that.
Right.
I literally built the food truck because I was scared that, every time we were closed, and then we ended up using more to feed the community than we ever did for anything else. But it was like, there were so many things I look back in the days of what it took to operate that building that, the emotions of my daughters were born and basically took steps there, and they used to be in playpens in the office, so it's like, but they're now 20 and 17. They have their own lives, and but those memories to me are never going to go away. I think that the real memories are what we can build and build the brand, and I think saving the brand and making it a better environment so that we can grow it for the next 20 years is going to be the exciting part of it.
So talk about that growth. Talk about like the new reinvention. Is it a new menu or is it the same menu?
It's a new building and with a new menu coming. We I say we, me. when I designed the changes, I knew there was going to be a lot optically. I knew that the emotions of the move were going to be heavy. I didn't want to also throw in a new menu and then say, oh, look, see, they're not the same, So we brought the same menu for the beginning, and we'll evolve it and expand it because now we'll have infrastructure we never had, kitchen equipment, ability to do food that we could never do before. But our focus was on back to what we did La Nouvelle, the experience and the romance and the feel that we wanted to build. While we designed Pesca from the ground up and spent lots of money on that concept, it was a double concept. It was split between a rooftop and a downstairs. So we had to have connection to the rooftop downstairs and connection to the downstairs upstairs. So it was more coastal, breezy, open, it was brighter. And we knew that wasn't the brand of Michael's. We knew Michael's was going to be lush and luxurious and dark and velvety. Yeah. So immediately, the decor was, okay, let's bring the lights down. So we, darkened the walls, brought in art.
It's the best.
Yeah, we brought art. We brought plants and dividers and brought all the pieces from Michael's, and really, we were really almost finished, and in the final piece, we sat in the dining room one day and we were listening to a musician in our lobby bar, and I was like, man, when Michael started, what the creation was, we used to have live entertainment in the corner of the room, and we said, but we can't really do that with what we're doing. But what more classic than a classic steakhouse than a grand piano? So we were like, so we incorporated the wine label and bought a baby grand piano, and now we have live piano 6 nights a week when we're
Fantastic.
open. So it's like everybody goes in. It's just, it takes you back to a golden era. And just like you hear the beautiful piano, and then you got the dim lit lights, you have the flowers on the table and the sounds. It's just like, they're epic. And everyone kind of just is enjoying that right now.
Very
Awesome.
cool. Where do you get your inspiration from on new dishes and things like that? Like, is it a thing where you're out, maybe you're in Savannah or somewhere else, you try something, you're like, you know what, I could tweak this a little bit? Or do things just pop into your head as a chef and you're like, you know what, maybe a fish, we season it this way, boom?
I think the days of pop into our head are mixed with social media nowadays. I think we're blessed in the technology that we have. We can travel, 5 times a day through Instagram. We can go all over the place.
Sure.
But you do have to put physical contact on what those things that inspire you are. So travel is a huge key. I think it avoids burnout. It avoids just complacency. I think the market, while good, there's a lot of repetition because some people don't get the opportunity to expand. So you start seeing people cannibalize each other and, kind of like dishes from here and locally. So I try to avoid that. I love supporting other restaurants, but I don't try to look at any other restaurants locally for my inspiration.
Right.
So I try to take trips, and I try to generally, when we do our family trips or, spring trips, something like that, I generally look for restaurants in the area that I'm looking for and then plan my trip around there. So if there's some things that I wanted to see, okay, maybe we're going to this place now.
Yeah,
That's where vacation is. And a lot of that thing is just to see, it's more reaffirmation. A lot of times those trips, never like I'll go to a place going like, oh my God, I've never seen that before. I've seen it, now I can touch it and go, yeah, but you know what? With my concept, I think that this would work better this way, or I like the inspiration. I never thought that ingredient would go with this. And I'm like, and you got this Rolodex of flavors in your head. And it gives you an opportunity to, wait a second, I never thought to push that envelope. Let me push it. I have another ingredient that I really connect with, and I want to try it with this thing, So it gives you just more affirmations of what you already felt. And like, at the end of the day, I'm a dreamer. That's what, to a beauty and a curse. I'm always thinking of what next. That's why, I'm always thinking endless possibilities, if I see something, I'm like, hey, I can do that. Or, it's like, and that's always been good for me because it keeps me pushing, but it's also, it's challenging because you have to make sure you're dedicated to the projects you got going. So you got to make sure that you don't overexpand and oversaturate your environment, and make sure you're focused enough to handle what we're doing as well. So,
well, I'm going to take that statement because you've got a lot of naysayers. You got a lot of critics out there. You got a lot of people saying, oh, he can't handle it. He's taking on too much. How do you deal with all that? I mean, how do you still be a leader, still inspire this management team to not lose the focus of, what people are saying sometimes out there?
I just do it by action. I lead it every day. So I don't listen to anybody. I literally, I say anybody walks in my shoes, I'm glad I can make it look easy to others, but they don't see what I do every single day to make it work. I'm glad that I can make it look, like that it's impossible to them, because it's easy for me because I never think that I'm doing it alone. I always think that I'm bringing someone along for the ride, and whether it's not to use them, it's to grow them too. I bring my teammates with me to make sure that they're part of the future, not because I'm using them for me to step myself to the next level.
True story.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any, and my last question will be what's next for you, but before that, do you have any like success stories of a chef who used to work for you, or somebody who used to work for you and went off and broke off and did their own thing? I know we're promoting your stuff today, but
No,
I didn't know if you had a story like that.
I mean, a bunch. I'm super proud of chefs that have worked for me that are super successful. I mean, Chef Josh Smith worked for me for many years and now does an amazing job at Catch 27. Look at what we did. Look at what we did when we did the pop-ups at Asado, and look at how great they're doing. I think I call that a success story from what, inspiring them. Chef Freddie, worked for me and went off, did amazing things. Just like, I can go back. So many other chefs over time, managers, I think life people, servers there now, or when I go to charity events and things like that, and they're the ones buying tables and doing like that, and they have a full career, and they talk to me about, inspiration for philanthropy they learn while they work for me, so it's like, it's not just direct connection, but it's just to see, people grow up and go. So whether it's growing with me, growth is the key. I think as long as everybody's, if we're promoting that environment that working for us shows them that they want to do something more, then that's a win in my book too.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool, man. So what is next for you? Is it another restaurant? It can't be another restaurant anytime soon, right?
Hey, listen, if you got money, we'll do it.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
That's the answer.
I got, listen, dreams I don't lack. Goals I don't lack. I think right now we're focusing on executing what we have to the best of their ability and making sure that our team is in the best place for success. I did have a 5-year, 5-concept dream that kind of I've slowed down a little bit. And the way I looked at it is, it was, there's still voids in the market, but there's also there's some growing that we need to do, not just internally. I think the city and the community needs to grow a little bit, and I think oversaturating right now would be a little good. But there's always hopes and dreams and ideas of more things.
Sure,
that's the only reason we wake up every day, right?
Absolutely,
that's right, man. That's right. Well, Chef Michael Lugo, man, it was a pleasure to have you in the studio again.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming by. We wish you all the success in the world, and man, keep us posted with anything
Thank
new
you.
coming up.
We're open down in Villano with Michael's right now. We'd love to see you guys. If you haven't seen it, come down. La Novelle as well. And Pesca when the weather gets a little bit better. We'll be ready to enjoy that. But thank you so much for everything you guys do. And,
hey, the buzzword is romantic. So Valentine's Day, get those reservations in, right?
I hate to break it to you. We're sold out. But
hey, that's awesome. Get on the wait list. That's right.
Sign up for next year.
But remember, Valentine's Day is not just one day,
Right.
Romance that partner all the time. Tomorrow.
All the time. There you
so
go.
good. So good.
Thank you, sir, for coming. That was
so
great.
good. That was a great chat. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Iconic.
Very cool.
I love to hear the growth and the success of his management team and how he takes them apart. It was a great chat. Very inspiring.
Yeah, yeah. The restaurant world is a different animal that
Absolutely.
if you haven't lived in it
Yep.
for years, you just don't understand it. And this is a guy who understands it and knows how to make it work.
Yep.
Very cool, man.
Very cool.
Hey, speaking of very cool, you can sit back and relax as Old Town Trolleys, licensed and talented tour conductors, share over 500 years of St. Augustine's history, our culture, and our old world charm, while you sit back, relax, and enjoy unforgettable views on their open-air trolleys. Guests can enjoy the city's European flavor, the brick-lined streets, and the sights, such as the Castillo de San Marcos, the Fountain of Youth, the former Ponce de Leon Hotel. It's a 90-minute tour, 22 stops, more than 100 points of interest, and you can use your ticket all day for on and off boarding as well. Check them out there, the Green Trains. They do it the best. We love them.
Whether battling a winter chill or bracing the next heat wave, All American Air have been keeping homes comfortable for over 45 years in St. Augustine, St. John's, Flagler, Duval, and Putnam counties. This trusted locally owned company provides top-tier heating and cooling solutions for the colder months and cutting-edge air conditioning systems for the ahead of the inevitable Florida summer heat. From Lennox systems to the ultra-smart iComfort thermostats, they offer the latest innovations to keep homes perfectly comfortable year-round. Known for treating every customer like family, All American Air stands by its committed quality and service. While they can match any price, their expertise and reliability remain unmatched. Give them a call today. Get on one of those maintenance plans, 904-461-0070.
And, of course, our friends at Bin 39. Great folks down there. You got to check out that wine list. It's growing and changing every single day.
Yes, sir.
They got a lot in stock for you, over 95 wines for you to choose from, whether you just want to sip, sample, or take a few bottles home, show up and be the king of the party with the best bottle of wine out there, period. Our friends at Bin 39 can help you do that. They are absolutely the best. Irving and his staff travel the globe to find the best wines to bring back to you. So check them out. They're open 8 to 8 daily, right there at 4 St. George Street. They are Bin 39.
Real quick, attention wine lovers.
That's right. You sent me that, damn it.
No
and
problem.
I have it written down here.
Mark your calendars for an extraordinary evening at Bin 39 as they team up with Canard Vineyard. We get the opportunity, Pete, to have a mini sampling of Canard on the show coming up. Honestly, this is a very extraordinary event. This never happens in St. Augustine. We always talk about the James Beard thing. Well, guess what? Canard is the wine of James Beard, right? Thursday, February 27th. Save the date, 6 to 8 p.m. Tickets are $99 a person, but I'll tell you, heavy hors d'oeuvres, limited seats available. This will sell out. 904-827-5740.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, man, it's horoscope time. What a way to thank Davey for being on point. Telling him this week's gonna suck.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Scorpio and Sagittarius. Here we go. Scorpios often sting, but this week the universe will be doing all the stinging.
God, this month, Pete, this month.
Really?
It's the
Yeah.
worst month ever for me.
You'll experience a roller coaster of emotions that goes only downward, drop after disappointing drop.
Seriously.
Friends and foes will irritate you beyond measure. And showing restraint will feel like battling a bear armed with only spaghetti. You only are armed with spaghetti, by the way, the bear.
Just throw it hard.
Yeah. Financially, it's going to feel like your wallet's been possessed by a spender demon.
Do I light my cigarette now or until after this read?
Prospects at work look as bright and promising as a foggy sunrise and a forgotten Valentine's postcard. Maybe try a Netflix binge, but even the Wi-Fi might not cooperate with you.
Seriously.
Damn it.
I'm serious. That was right on the money.
Sorry. Sagittarius. Well, Sagittarius, the adventure seer in you will find everything closed for renovations, even your enthusiasm. You'll fall victim to the black hole of boredom this week, where all your explorative impulses go to die. Your overly optimistic goals will take longer to execute than expected, forcing you to deal with mundane chores that scream, why bother? Communication will feel akin to talking to a stubborn wall. So better latch on to your virtual friends and never let go. It's starting to look like a cuddle your dog and cry type of week.
Aww. Theirs was better than mine.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was worse, better, whatever you want to say.
Hey, I heard from our friends over at Ancient City Farmstead.
Okay.
So Cupid's arrows will soon be flying, and they want to give two couples the chance to fall in love at Ancient City Farmstead with a free couples photo shoot. Winners will be selected and announced February 7th and receive a 45-minute couples photo shoot with a celebrity champagne toast and delicious charcuterie board to follow. Follow their page. I'll put link in comments. And yeah, you just comment that you want to enter the contest. Again, two winners announced on February 7th, 45-minute photo shoot, Ancient City Farmstead.
Very cool.
Yes. Ooh, soup connoisseurs. Here you are. You are seen and heard for the Soup Showdown.
What?
This is a fundraiser for Pie in the Sky St. John's.
Oh, cool.
Thursday, February 6th. A bunch of people coming together making some great soup. This is an epic fundraiser been going on for years. 5:30 to 8 p.m. over at the Pie Warehouse on Riberia Street. Join them for the Soup Showdown, a night of fun, flavor, fundraising for a great cause. Their amazing community chefs will be serving up their best soups, so you get ready to taste and vote for your favorite. You purchase a ticket, $30 cash at the door or the QR code in advance. You sample some incredible soups. Vote for your favorite celebrity soup champions for each category. Also, beverages are available by donation. Very, very cool. If you have any questions, you can always go to soupshowdown2025@gmail.com. Shout out to Angie who puts this together for Pie in the Sky. It is super fun. $1 per ticket for voting. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, check
This is
that
the
out.
one where they make like 96 gallons of soup,
It's
right?
all, yeah, and you just keep going. You try a bunch of them, and it's usually such a really well attended thing. So that's a lot of fun. This weekend, Pedro Menendez High School has their 8th annual car show. The benefits, the proceeds will benefit Pedro Menendez Athletic Booster Club. We heard how important booster clubs are. So February 1st, 9 to 2 p.m. Pre-registration is $15, $20 day at the show, or $30 for multiple cars if you want to show them off. Free motorcycle entry. The trophies will be awarded by sports teams. The Falcon Award for Best in Show. There will also be music, entertainment, food. Door prizes, 50-50 drawing. Shout out to Tammy Morbido if you have any questions. But yes, it's the Pedro Menendez High School 8th annual car show this weekend.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that should be fun. Those are always good. I go to most of those. Yeah.
Love the car museum's great. It's such a fun time to be down there.
Man. Speaking of fun, Magnolia Family Dentistry. It's as fun as you'll have at the dentist, for sure.
It's a spa and a chair.
That's right. That's right. They're redefining what it means to visit the dentist in St. Augustine and St. Johns County. Dr. Paulo Rodriguez is going to take great care of you, and Magnolia Family Dentistry is not just about clean teeth. It's about a clean and extraordinary experience all across the board. And you're going to notice that from the moment you step through their doors, and you're welcomed into a state-of-the-art practice that prioritizes your comfort and your well-being. Experience the difference with Magnolia Family Dentistry, where a healthy smile meets exceptional care. Schedule your appointment today. Very easy. Call 904-824-0990 and see why so many people are making the switch.
And make the switch to Panache. They've been living the fabulous life since 1987 and invite you to their pamper party this Valentine's Day. So double the love with Panache St. Augustine, premier Aveda Salon and Spa. Treat yourself and someone special to 75 blissful minutes of pure relaxation. They've got a couple stress-free Fix Massage for $300. This is such an awesome moment. Book your staycation or theirs today at getpanache.com and get with it. Boo.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
All right. What do we got to end the show today?
Memes that are total blasts from the past today.
All right.
So this first one, no one knows why, but at some point in the 90s, every kid owned this Charlotte Hornets jacket.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
Yeah.
I
had
didn't.
one.
I didn't. I was way too poor for it.
I
but
had one, yes.
everybody I knew had one. Rick had one.
And I had no idea who they were. I just had to have the jacket. Stupid. Next up, Weird Al Yankovic turned down a $5 million beer endorsement deal. He thought it was ethically wrong because a lot of his fans were young and impressionable.
Wow.
That guy's a hero.
Solid guy, that
Seriously,
Weird Al. He really is.
I just changed my perspective.
Good guy.
Next up, only a few of you will get this.
Yeah.
That pen was the thing that got the tape
That
back
was
in
it,
order
man.
back in
That
the
was
day,
all you could
right?
do. And it had to be that ridged pen, you know? It had to
Right.
have the
Bic.
sides.
Yeah. Next up, not to brag, but I was alive when you could slam the phone down and hang up on anybody. It was
So awesome.
spectacular.
It
Yes.
was a great feeling.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Next up, before the internet, these people would take your order, write down an address, and deliver pizza to your home in less than 30 minutes by using a paper map like some sort of mystical land pirate.
Seriously.
Right.
It's wild.
I know.
How different life was 20 years ago.
Shout out to Katie Casper, been 39. She used to be the phone girl at Domino's
Really?
years ago. I got that out of her last night.
I've
Yes.
talked to her many times then. Yeah.
Next up, who else used the mix from this metal can as a kid? Nestle Quick, remember?
Gosh, I can taste it
Me
right
too.
now.
So
Yeah.
good. Yes. Next up, this picture smells like cigarettes, right? Am I
Yes,
right?
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
it
it.
does.
Every grandma's house. I know.
Cigarettes and Goodwill.
God bless you. Mothballs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, this is how we used to unfriend people before social media, right?
That was
You just-
cropping people out of the picture.
Easy. Yeah. I look great. Just rip them out. Yeah.
I remember seeing a lot of those in high school.
Right. Next up, we didn't know back then, but your teacher was definitely hungover when this thing rolled into class.
Yeah, for sure.
Watching, I love those days, right?
Gosh,
so
that was
fun.
the best to see that little cart roll in, and
I
man,
know.
the lights were off. You're
I
like,
didn't care what they showed. Yeah.
if you walk into class and the lights are off, you're like, yes,
Yes.
it's movie day.
sleep time.
Yeah.
And then finally, I'm this old where you had
Okay.
to blow on the cartridge.
First of all, I got a problem with this. You
Okay.
never had to blow in N64 cartridges.
Oh,
it was
the
only
science.
regular Nintendo.
Okay.
Only. I have all three of these systems still to this day.
All right.
And Nintendo's the only one.
The meme police have
That's
spoken.
right.
Yes.
That's right. I am the official meme police.
So
Yeah.
charges are rendered.
Charges are pending. That's right. All right, man. Great show. Thank you
Yes,
for the
sir.
setup today. Thank you for Rick for pressing all the buttons. You guys out there for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.